Talking about KLA-Tencor, actually KLA Corporation now, used to be KLA-Tencor. KLAC on NASDAQ is the ticker. It's down about 17% since the beginning of the month, around September 2nd, I think was the high. Down 17%. Lots of semis are down though. I see no real issues with the companies specifically. I actually see no issues with the industry either. It's more of a stock market thing. These things have run up, come back a little bit here just because of valuation and other macro kind of things. But no, I don't even want to say macro. I don't want to say macro things. Just more stock market valuation kind of running up and having a natural pullback. That's the way I want to phrase it. So I think it's an opportunity. Probably start nibbling is the way to go. As I often recommend, is short term is just so hard, which is so weird because most things are easier to predict short term. Like I know what I'm doing this afternoon. I don't know what the stock market's going to do this afternoon. I don't know what I'm doing a year from now, but I'm pretty confident the stock market will be doing okay. So, anyways, let's dive in a little bit and take a look at some of the numbers here. Let's start with our profile. I want to do some comparables today. So here's our profile of KLA, and the profile is just fantastic, right? Improving return for about 6 years in a row. Came off just a little bit in the trailing 4 quarters. That's this blue versus the annual numbers. No big deal. Doesn't bother me a little bit. We've had big issues in the economy with COVID and all these other things, and there was in general a bit of a slowdown in semis. Well, let's say the last 3 quarters, a lot because there was a lot of inventory out there, and we're kind of now converting to 5G, and it hasn't been quite as fast as I would have liked to have seen, but so we got to work off some of that inventory and then start rolling out the 5G, which is coming, right? So this is it's all related. Okay, great profile here, good valuation, everything looks great. Quick look at the financials, and let's just look basically at the top line for the last few quarters, and you see last September 29% growth, then 34, then 29, slipped to 16, which is still very good, right? In a global pandemic, it's probably going to be, I would think, the worst quarter for revenue growth. I hope next quarter is better. Okay, next one, comparables. Let's compare it to Applied Materials. Okay, Applied Materials, not as good as a return on capital profile. They have improved as well, but dipped down more, down to 17%. So KLA was about 26, and this is 17, so not quite as good. Although I would say the valuation does look a little bit better. Let's look at the financials quickly. And you see the growth is not really as robust either. Minus 14, minus 0.1, 10, 11, 23 in the July quarter. And that gives me some actual hope because they have a July quarter end. Remember, KLA has a June quarter end. So just that could make a difference with the global pandemic that we've been facing, just the shift of the timing of it. I don't want to put too much stock in it, but it is interesting that Applied Materials July quarter is, had 23% growth. KLA's June quarter had 16% growth. Okay, and last but not least, let's take a look at ASML. Here's our ASML profile. Pretty solid return on capital profile. Didn't go as low, like six years ago it was at 12%. The other guys were definitely below that. So it didn't have as high to rise, but it's only come up to 16% return. Put some capital to work, very good business. Harder to justify the valuation. I've pulled some of the levers in the fade, and it's definitely harder to justify the valuation. Let's look at the revenue, and it's actually been pretty solid. So minus 6% a year ago in the June quarter, but then 7, 28, 9.5, and 29 in the June quarter. So there's a quick summary of those, but I did another chart because there's a little bit more to the story, and I think this is important. Kind of broke it up a little bit: the size factor, return on capital, growth, technology, valuation, and just the stock performance. So KLA is the smallest, but it also has the best return on capital and has the highest growth at the moment. And I calculated this growth with the trailing 4 quarters versus a full 4 quarters before that. Okay, so it's essentially 1 year growth, but using trailing 4 quarters. Okay, and actually KLA was the highest, although as we saw the last quarter was actually the lowest, but using a little bit more data, a bit bigger time frame of 1 year, it had the highest growth. Okay, here's where things get a little bit crazy. And this is always a trade-off in every investing thing you do. ASML has the most advanced technology. That's just kind of something that's known. All the analysts kind of agree with that. They're all really high-quality companies, very technical, scientific companies. But if you really dug in, and most of the analysts would say ASML has the best technology. Okay, so it's important to know that as an investor. In terms of valuation, I actually got to say Applied Materials has the best metrics. I think that's fair. If you just, no matter how you slice it, either using our intrinsic value model, some other ratios, but personally our intrinsic value model is the best way to go in my opinion, and it just had the best valuation. Okay. Stock market performance. So this I want you to take with a grain of salt. I didn't color it green because it's not green. It's not an indication to buy or sell, right? Whoever's doing the best or the worst, like, should you buy the one that's down the most, or should you buy the one that has the most momentum and has the best stock market performance? There's no real positive to that as an investor, but it's very interesting. So turns out, no matter how I slice it, a 3-month, a 6-month, a 1 year, or a 3 year, turns out ASML has had the best return in the stock market. Okay, probably attributable because it has the best technology, and you'll see that often, even though the other metrics are not as good. Actually, lowest return on capital, growth right in between the other two. But you know what? Quality, right? On the other hand, Applied Materials has the lowest growth, has the lowest return, second lowest return on capital, has the best valuation metrics, and it's probably not an accident that the actual returns in the stock haven't been as good. You see, these are big trade-offs, right? Like, so which one do you do? Do you buy ASML because it's got the best technology but the worst metrics otherwise, or do you buy maybe the small one, KLA is the smaller, kind of maybe has more room for growth or something? Hard to say, but I'm here to tell you what I think. For my money, I'm going with KLA. I like that it's the smallest. I like that it has the highest return on invested capital. I like that it has the highest growth. It's done well in the marketplace. As I said at the top, it has had a 17% pullback, and it wasn't anything to do with the company. It's just the market in general, and semis in general have had they had a big run, a little normalized pullback. I think that's fine. I often recommend this, and I'll do it one more time, is you don't need to buy it all at once. Buy a little bit now, because who knows what's going to happen next week. Maybe you can buy some more. If it goes down, if it goes up, at least you were in. But we know this. It's 17% cheaper than it was at the beginning of September. And we're only at September 18th here. So you got a 17% discount from just a few weeks ago. So I'd take a little nibble here. Looks really good. I really love all these companies, by the way. But for my money, I'd go KLA. Thanks for watching our investment video. If you want to improve your portfolio returns, simply subscribe.
Or if you're an investment advisor or a retail investor and you want help with your portfolio more directly, we can help you with a managed account and manage each and every trade for you.